Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Below Deck podcast. We're back with episode 15 of Below Deck Med titled Brace for Balance. Sean, I really did try to rack my brain here trying to figure out why this was called Brace for Balance. I've got no idea unless maybe there was like a tightrope scene that I missed. I did watch it on demand, so maybe I missed something, but can't tell you, man.
Maybe they edited that tightrope scene out. Yeah, that's
But yeah, and the guy who's been coming up with terrible titles this season was like, "Well, I already put it in there, so nothing else I could do." In this week's episode, we continue to experience what I think is the absolute cringiest charter I can remember. Kyle makes amends with Natalia, and then Natasha manages to just blow that whole situation up. Reed puts his foot in his mouth, which he really did mention on the first episode he was going to do. And candidly, I've got no idea what's going on with Storm and Natalia. So let's jump right in. Sean, I think that there's a good reason to start with these charter guests, but I personally have to bring up the interior situation, what's going on. So obviously Natalia and Kyle basically have some form of like a screaming match, yelling match at the end of last episode.
right.
We get 90% of it at the end of last episode. And then really this episode was Kyle making amends with Natalia. I thought that was good of him. I think he realized he was wrong. And then Natasha comes in full storm, reminding us that she is the worst chief stew I can ever remember, and basically tells Kyle that he shouldn't have apologized. And if anything, it should have come from Natalia. We went from what could have been a cohesive unit to Natasha just managing to cause all this drama, and I could not be further out on her at this point.
That sure you called her the worst Chiefs do ever. I, in some ways, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
She's the worst. She might be the worst manager.
I think everyone hates season one Below Deck, right? Below Deck Sailing, right?
Oh, yeah. Jenna was just very unlikable. I'd rather work for Natasha than like Adrian or Jenna or maybe even Heather, like from
Yeah.
last season of Legacy. But but like Natasha's like the least mature.
Yeah.
And
It's
like it's no, John, that was so funny. It was like a pretty great moment actually. Like, yeah, because like obviously Sandy hears Kyle, like she doesn't really hear like the fight, but Kyle goes in the galley and is like talking basically bad mouthing Natalia to Dave, right? Sandy overhears this, is like, hey, you don't talk behind people's backs, like that's just never do that. Like talk to them like face to face. And he does that. He does apologize. You think it's going like, okay, like those two are never gonna really gonna get along fully. And then I think Natasha likes having like Kyle on their side.
I think that's she is worried about being on the wrong end of a 2-for-1.
Mm,
Honestly, like it was already done. Like there was nothing she had to do. She just could have said, "Great, now you guys can work well together." But she actually had to go out of her way to say, "You shouldn't have apologized. You shouldn't have done this." Um, and just completely screws the whole thing up. It is unbelievable. I really just think Natasha continues to be like toxic and absolutely like not only a nightmare to like work with, but like even be around. I mean, between the Dave thing at the beginning and now this like Natalia's coming for my job. I need to have Kyle on my side. Like it's so
mm.
petty. It's
She
unbelievable.
if to work for her, you need to be like an ally or just like a follower. Pretty much over it, like because she feels like Natalia's coming for her job, just like by criticizing her even a little bit. And I know she mentioned like she feels like she's walking on eggshells, like with Natalia. So
Well,
like she's almost a little afraid of her too.
well, yeah, Natasha's playing the classic like victim. Like she's always the
Yeah.
victim. Like all like trouble follows her, right? And it's just I'm I think everyone's seeing through it and it's really just wearing thin at this point. But Sean, we did get the benefit of no boyfriend text this episode.
That's over. I
Is that
thought
done?
I think that's officially done. I'm pretty happy. Now who knows what happens? Like last episode of the season, we get a boyfriend text like as she's departing the boat. That would stink, but
How
none
many?
tonight. So that was a win.
So I haven't seen a charter for anything, but this is already episode 15. Don't they usually do like 16, 17 and then like reunion?
Well, John, speaking of that, came out on BravoCon this past weekend. I wasn't there, but I, saw it on Instagram. So Below Deck season 10 confirmed like mid-November. But then you got Below Deck Adventure coming, but I think that's on like a Tuesday. So I have no idea how many episodes.
Yeah.
There's no way that Below Deck Mid is going until mid-November.
Well, they have a reunion. Maybe it's a two-parter. Plus, like maybe they skip they skip like Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
something. Or Halloween. Maybe they skip Halloween.
Oh yeah,
That's on a Monday.
It's already the 17th. You're right. Yeah, there might be like 3 more episodes.
Yeah, maybe they skip Halloween. I mean, everybody's going to be out, but at the same time, like I think enough people watch this on demand, that it's not going to kill them in the ratings. But I have noticed, Sean, the ratings have been dropping for the show. And I'm just going on viewers, not like how many people liked it, but they got up to like 1.1, 1.2 almost as their high. And I think a couple weeks ago they hit like 700,000.
That's bad. I mean,
7 and change could have been like 780, 790.
I guess you could say like, it's on early, like for Peacock, obviously. So like that probably takes a chunk out of the premiere numbers. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird though. Not a great sign. Now we'll see. Like for a regular Below Deck that's not like premiering early on Peacock, maybe the numbers will be like back to normal. Might just be mid. I don't know. I feel like people are having a hard time. Like, there's no Daisy on the show. There's no like central character that people like love. It's like people like the minor characters more.
I think it'd be kind of funny if they were like, we're doing a crossover this season for Below Deck Legacy. And it's just like Daisy's going to be the chief stew. And then when it's Below Deck Med time, there's like, oh, we're doing another crossover. Daisy's going to be the chief. Like,
they just keep her permanent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't want to do that, but
they'd give her a bag though.
Yeah. Well, they did announce it looks like we'll probably get into like, I don't know if you watched the trailer for Below Deck Legacy, Sean, but it looks like the second stew from
Frasier.
Frasier's back, yeah.
As Chief Stew.
He might be Chief Stew. Yeah.
That's confirmed. Yeah, that'll be an interesting spin. Male Chief Stew. Looking forward to that. But yeah, John, anything else about like head of housekeeping comment, obviously that comes up later when they're at dinner. What's it tell you meant about at the end of the episode that Kyle said that in front of Sandy?
I don't think Natalia is that mad at Kyle. I think Kyle gets upset because Storm or Z says, well, the only reason he kind of came to you to say he was sorry was because he got in trouble with Sandy. And now you're questioning the guy's motives and like, talking about that he's in trouble. And so Kyle like flipped a switch and just kind of went into honestly, I was out on this guy to start the episode. He drew me back in after he apologized, and now I'm back out on him. Like it was just a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, it's very easy to say Kyle off. It's like he was humbled for like 2 minutes and that was it mid episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point because he does tell Natalia, no one tell me to come here to apologize. I'm just doing this out of guilt. And I don't know that Sandy actually told him like, hey, you have to apologize, but she does say like, hey, you should confront people directly, not talk to them behind their back. Like or in front of their coworkers, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Sandy. Kyle thrives on talking about people behind their back. It is unbelievable. but yeah, I mean, I don't. This isn't going to be concluded at the end of this episode. Like, I think it's one of these things. Like Natalya's just going to continue to think that she does more than everybody, which she does. Um, and like we're just going to leave it at that, and everyone's just going to be pissed at each other for I don't know one more charter. I don't know how many we have left. Is it? It's one or two.
Yeah, I'm probably two because I feel like they would say we have one more charter to go. Just probably two
Right.
more.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
oh, Jen, while we're on Natalia, should we talk her and Storm and what's happening there?
So I'd say we're pro Natalia on this podcast,
Yeah,
um, in general, but I mean, couldn't we be like kind of blaming her here for like the same thing that Natasha was doing to Dave at the beginning of this season a little bit? Because like she basically told Storm, like, I think this is just too much, whatever. They basically like broke up and now she's been jumping into his bed, joking about, hooking up. Um, it's not a good look when like you're the one who ended it. You can't like continue to like initiate things because it's definitely playing with Storm at this point.
yeah. I kind of had a revelation today watching the episode. I
Yeah.
think Natalia like wants Pirate Storm. She wants
Mm.
the guy in the photos with the long hair that is living around the world and swashbuckling or whatever she thought he was.
Yeah.
And
No emotions.
yeah,
Yep.
he became somewhere along the way. Well, we saw actually when Reagan was fired, Bosun Storm. He's middle management. He's a very regular guy who's
There you
like
go.
into his job and like wants Sandy's approval and like really likes making his management decisions. And she's just like turned off by that. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I think eventually everyone wants a guy with a job, but I guess she's only 24. I don't know.
I'll tell you, Storm and I have different. Like when my friends ask me about my job, I'm like, yeah, it's going good. I don't get into like the nitty gritty. Versus like Storm's like, yeah, man, I got this big decision I got to make, and then he just goes into it and he weighs all the pros and cons in front of you. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I asked like, how's work going? Not like your day. I don't need a play by play.
Yeah, maybe she's
That's how
like,
I feel.
yeah, maybe she's holding out for like the season to be over and like where he's not the bosun anymore, and it'll be more into him.
Could be.
But
I think
he's a talked about work guy.
it is weird to be like so into something that like, and I shouldn't say weird because like it's his job, but like he's still like perfecting things when in like 6 days he'll like never see that boat again. You know what I mean? And like good on him. That's like the type of people you want to work for you, but like he's like agonizing over like decisions that like in a week didn't make, have zero impact.
That's true. Like, yeah, he's not on this boat forever.
No, he's not playing the Gary role.
I don't. Yeah, right. I don't think Sandy does that, but I guess he's starting his career. I don't know, but Natalia finds his job boring.
She really does. She wants something to do
She
with it.
hates his passion so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean, you want to jump into talk on like the guest side here? Because
Yeah.
I said at the top that I thought it was like the one of the cringiest charters I can remember. So in the first one, we got a lot of nudity, the girls were, getting photos taken, this and that. Second one, we got a little bit more into like a BDSM dinner party, which only 4 of the 6 people attended, and I think like one person left in the middle of it.
Yeah. That let's just say like in college or like high school house parties, bad ratio.
Yeah,
It
real
was
bad.
two guys and one girl at the end of it.
Yeah.
I John, like let's just say like these guys thought they were gonna get laid on this boat, right?
I think these guys went on. I listen. I don't know, but I think these guys went on the boat probably thinking like we might get laid, and these girls went on the boat thinking I probably don't want to have sex with these guys.
I think they knew from the jump that they were into these guys. So
Yeah.
these guys are in the fitness industry. I
I think
rewatched
I
it.
think Sean, I think you can put anything on a charter itinerary